What's up, guys? This is your girl, CoCo, and I want to welcome you to another episode of Kiki'ing with CoCo. If you are new to the show, let me tell you a little bit about it. Basically, my friends come on the show and we kiki about whatever the topic of the show is. And I'm excited about today's guest. Tyson, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hey everyone, my name is Ty or Tyson, and I am a YouTuber. My YouTube is centered around beauty, basically conversations that Coco has on her podcast as well, just videotized. I don't know if that's a real word, and fashion, lifestyle, things like that. You can follow me on my YouTube or subscribe to my YouTube at Ty's Universe or on IG.
Okay, so y'all have to go and follow her. Like, she a whole fool. Just a funny individual, and she's like the little sister I never had. So so I'm excited that she's here to have this conversation. What I will say is she is definitely one of my friends that we can sit and talk about show after show after show because we both TV heads. I was just telling her that I started watching The Real Housewives of Atlanta from the beginning because it's on Netflix now. And I'm like, as soon as we got on the Zoom meeting, I'm like, girl, why did I start watching this shit? Let me tell you why Sharea's broke.
Right.
But yes. So today's episode is on a way lighter note than it has been as of late. And not that I have moved on from the conversation. I just think that we also need to laugh a little bit as well, keep our spirits up, because that's also a part of mental health, which I am big on. And so today we will not have a drink with Coco because yesterday we had a Juneteenth celebration and I made jungle juice, and let's just say I just need to hydrate today. So I can't drink no more. Until next week though. I will have a drink next week. And so for those of you guys who are not familiar with Juneteenth, it is basically the Independence Day that the Black community in America celebrates due to it being when we finally got the word that slavery had been abolished, even though the 13th Amendment had already been signed. Just through word of mouth, they didn't get wind of it until about maybe 6 months later.
2 years.
Well, okay, so the 13th Amendment was signed in January of 1865, but there was, what was it, 2 years prior to that was done?
So yeah, slavery was technically abolished in 1863, but in Texas, the last bit of troops came back in Galveston, and then that's when they found out 2 years later. They were the last bunch to find out. So it's onto the saying of like, we're not all free until everyone's free.
Right. And so Juneteenth is June 19th is the day that we celebrate Juneteenth, and Friday was Juneteenth, and a lot of people had to work. I took off, as a part of my freedom. I chose to relax that day. And on Saturday, we had a celebration with some, good food and libations and drunk Uno and, all the games for a good game night. But I enjoyed it. It was my first time celebrating Juneteenth, and not that I wasn't aware of this previously, but I think amidst all of the current events, it was just nice to celebrate just being Black.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, yes, Juneteenth. If y'all did not celebrate, I hope that next year you guys celebrate. And a lot of people have been wanting this to be a national holiday. I know New York has made it a state holiday and people get paid for taking that day off.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of any other places that I believe there are other places who have deemed?
Yeah. The only other place I've heard of is Virginia. I believe they are either in talks or they made a press conference to say that that will be the case.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the only other place I've heard. But I've heard of many companies now come out and say that they are um, recognizing it as a holiday, a
Yeah.
paid holiday.
Yes. So I think that is a step in the right direction. There is a lot more things that need to be done to, you know, make equality amongst everybody, but that is one way to start, is to acknowledge something that is near and dear to the Black community's hearts.
For sure.
And so amidst, again, all of the current events, Teyana Taylor just released her new album called The Album. And I listened to it this morning. I was half asleep, but I definitely got good vibes from it. I really liked it. Her new song, Wake Up Love, I really like that song. And if you saw the
Yeah.
video, she introduces, even though we kind of already knew she was having a baby, but like the official announcement that she was
Mm-hmm.
pregnant came from this video, and Iman was in the video looking good as always. And
Yes, ma'am.
yes, looking real good. And he actually raps on this song. I did not know he did that, but he does.
Oh, wait a minute, because I got to say something about this, because he really changed his whole tune. If
Uh-huh.
you go look back at him rapping back in the day, it's like, okay. But as soon as I heard him on the hip hop awards in the cipher, I was like, okay, he changed his whole flow up. He kind of sounded like Andre 3000 now, a little bit, but he actually sound listenable.
Yeah, he sounded listenable. I don't think it was the best lyrically, but I think it was good for what it needed to be for the song.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and also in this, like, she made a note when she released like a picture or a snippet of the video on Instagram, basically just saying how, her husband, she could lose him at any moment. And that's kind of like what I take from the song in itself is, she's saying like, in so many words, I need you here with me. I want you to hold me. I want attention from you. And, these are all things that she can't get if he, gets caught up in, what is going on in the world at the moment. And, that's the gist of what I get from the song. What about you?
So I listened to the song a few times, and I honestly, my first reaction, maybe this is just my young mind, but I thought it was her just being needy. But I didn't listen to the lyrics for real, because in his response, he was rapping about things that are like, I know we're arguing, but yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I
Yeah.
thought it was more so just like, wake up, let's either talk this out, or like, I just want all your time. Because that's how I took it as the first time, but I honestly didn't deep dive. Usually when I really want to pay attention to what's being said, I pull up the lyrics at the same time and I listen to the song, but I hadn't done that yet because I hadn't gotten to her whole album yet. But that was more so what I was thinking the song was about. But you took a more deeper meaning. I didn't even catch on to any of that.
And I think the reason I also associate that meaning behind the song, and maybe not so much the lyrics, but maybe the thought process behind the song, is just the beginning of her album. It's kind of like she's playing snippets of momentous moments in their lives. And so she, put a clip on there when he asked her to marry him. And then she also put the 911 recording on there when she was in labor and he ended up,
He had to deliver the
yeah,
baby.
he delivered the baby or whatever. And it was just so, like, it was just so sweet to hear all of this going on in the background. The 911 operator is just like, sir, I understand that, a lot is going on right now, but I need the address, and as he's giving him the information, the 911 guy's like, congratulations, is it a girl or a boy? And just telling him the steps that he needs to take to make sure that, both Teyana and the baby were safe. And you could hear him crying in the video. And it's just like, it was like, I guess, to experience something like that with somebody and the thought process of possibly losing them, to violence or hatred because of someone's skin tone is just like, I guess it's a crazy feeling.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I just think overall, maybe that's the overarching theme of her album, I guess you could say.
And I hadn't listened to it. It's on my to-do list. I have so many albums I gotta listen to. Like, everybody is dropping something back to back to back.
She is definitely the person that know all the words to the songs, all the rap songs, all the R&B songs.
Me?
Yes, you.
Because I study the lyrics, honey.
She be sitting
look
there
them
reading
up.
word for word, like, okay, it say this, this, this.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, yes, ma'am. Because I'm not gonna be in these streets, mouthing the words and be wrong, and people be like, "Is he even saying?" Shout out to Alex.
Yeah, Alex too. But we was playing Black Card Revoke last night, and I'm not big on rap. I listen to it, I think, just to know what's out there, but I don't really listen to the words. I just kind of listen to the beat. I'm here for a good turn up. If it's a good turn up song, do a little jig. I only know a few words from Meg Thee Stallion songs. I can definitely add in the she be doing all of that when she be rapping. I can get those. I try and learn all the Beyonce words. I do.
Yes, ma'am, as you should. Did you listen to Black Parade?
I did.
Okay. Thoughts?
I think Beyonce is for the people, as much as people want to hate on her and who she is, I think Beyonce is for the Black people. And
100%, yeah.
I feel like as far as celebrities go, even though Beyonce don't say much, I think her actions are exemplary to, the movement right now. I think she expresses herself best through song. So, just addressing different topics, whether it be things going on in her personal life or things that's going on in the world, I think like that is where her emotions is where her magic comes from.
Right. And if you look at any Beyonce documentary, you will see so many minute things that she adds in, and they do have significant meaning, but it can literally be the way she makes a beat, or the way that she picture she adds into her, a video. she really does do the research on certain things, and she really goes up for the Black community 100%. So
Yep. That's
this
why
is just
y'all need to
another.
be fans, because she's just an all around good person outside of being talented, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But
why
we
she's queen.
Beyonce fans, so
I
take
know, right? We're biased. I mean, my office already knows. Don't say nothing about her because I'm coming for your throat.
backs.
She's just it. I mean, I know this is not the topic, but she is just it. Period.
Yes. So that is going cut it for the hot topic this week. And now we're going to move into the hot cup of cocoa. So this week's hot cup of cocoa is it's kind of late because the last episode aired last Sunday and it is Sunday now and we're just now talking about this. But I think that Insecure is one of the best shows that is out right now that is showcasing Black people in its greatness. And not to say that I don't watch other Black shows that, you know, do the same, but I feel like the drama of Insecure is more relatable to drama in other
Absolutely.
shows,
And
because it's stuff that we encounter on a day-to-day basis.
I feel like with the film industry or in TV, and I was talking about this on my YouTube channel too with my friends, like when it comes to like Black TV shows or movies, it's usually something super negative that can still be relatable, but it's usually very negative and it's only one-sided when there's so many different walks of life for Black people, so many things that we do go through. And that's what I love about her show. Like I started watching her show when I was like 19, and I hadn't experienced per se the same things that she had went through with her relationships, but I just honestly, I felt like a connection in that moment. Literally, I watched the whole entire season in a day. I mean, it's not hard because they're short, but it was like
Right.
I was glued to it. And it was so good to see just Black people just being happy and Black and then going through things and getting through them. And just like, I literally am a Insecure advocate. Anybody I run into and they're like, oh, I need a new show to watch, I tell them to watch Insecure, because it's just such a great show.
Yeah, it's definitely good. I feel like season 4 took forever to come out, and we probably gonna have to wait for forever for season 5 just because of
I
the
know.
virus. You know, people
Mm-hmm.
are not able to record at the moment. But so we're gonna go ahead and get into this season 4 recap.
Yes.
You know, I was trying
Spoiler alert.
to say, yes, spoiler alert if you have not watched the current season of Insecure. But you know, I was debating on whether I wanted to do an overall review or if I wanted to do an, you know, recap of each episode individually, which I honestly think we can do each episode individually just because they are so short. And overall, the conversation is gonna kind of like gel together.
Yeah.
So, in the first episode, low key feeling myself, um, Issa is working with Condola. And for those of you who don't know who Condola is an event planner who brings people together.
Mm-hmm.
And for Issa's birthday, they take her to see who is it? Is it Bruce Lee? Not Bruce Lee. It some karate type movie that she really, really liked. And it's like a outdoor event, like kind of like a drive-in, but it's not a drive-in. It's like people are on the lines, they have the projector up, and all these Black people are here to, and it's not just Black people. Yeah, it was just Black people, but they were there to watch this movie. And Issa was like, this was a really good event. I'm trying to do a block party. Maybe we should link, whatever.
Yeah.
So Condola agrees to, helping out. It sounds like a good idea, whatever. But in the midst of all of this, they find out that Condola is not only a event planner, but he is Lawrence's new love interest.
Of course she is.
And also we have to talk about Molly. Molly is, if you watched season 3, Molly meets Andrew at Coachella in a Molly-induced, a Molly the drug induced type situation.
I was like, they ain't gonna get that.
She meets him at the Coachella last season, and so in this season, she's trying to figure out if there could be more with Andrew. So my thoughts on the first episode, I thought, well, of course, I was pressed to see it, but I think it was a good opener to know, Issa is really following through with doing the block party. And that she meets somebody that kind of knows how to plan something on this grand of a scale.
And I think another thing that needs to be like highlighted that makes the situation a little suckier is that the fact that not only like is she a good event planner, but they actually like liked each other on a friendship level. Like they were bonding a little bit. And like, how when you first meet another Black girl and you're like, oh, okay, we on the same type tip. Like, okay, we about to be friends. Like in your head, like we about to be friends. I'm not about to put it out there, but I know we about to be friends. Yeah. And that's basically how they was like linking up, and they semi in the same profession too. So just sucked.
Yeah, I was definitely, like, damn, Lawrence, why you had to come fuck this up? It wouldn't be life if it didn't throw a wrench in it.
And that's definitely something that happens. Like literally, I've encountered it myself when I just became cool with one girl, and she's like, oh, who does everyone talk to? Blah, 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 blah. And so I named my dude, and she's like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah. And then it just gets awkward.
Yeah. That's real life. And then, her and Molly are trying to do this self-care Sunday thing, which I don't do self-care Sunday as much as I should, or as much as I would like. My self-care on Sunday consists of
sleeping. But that is something I feel like people should block out time to do, especially if you do have a busy life. Like you should definitely try to find something to like do for yourself.
For sure.
Every week.
So I think it's good that they are trying to implement that into their life, whether that be they were doing stuff like hiking, yoga, stuff like that. It's something for, I would prefer, honestly, to hike or do yoga over running.
I mean, if we're going to talk about athletic stuff, then yeah, I'm going to rather walk than run.
I think that's a part of self-care, is to take care of your body.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm like the total opposite, like a self-care. I was like thinking like getting a whole bunch of junk food and binge watching Real Housewives of Atlanta.
I mean, that is self-care too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, to me, TV is like my happy space. So
Same.
Because I'm so busy throughout the week, like, and being in this stats class right now, I tell you, this is the most dedication I have ever given to any class, on top of, still doing, the podcast, doing all the extra stuff that come along with the podcast outside of recording. You know what I'm saying? So if I can carve it, like this week alone, I think I've only watched 3 hours of TV, and that was watching that first episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Watching T.I. and Tiny's Family Hustle. I watched the episode of that. Okay, so maybe 4 hours, 6 hours.
4, 5, 6, 7, 10.
Because I did watch Best Man Holiday on Friday night. Saturday, or was that Thursday? It was Thursday. And Saturday, I watched some TV yesterday too. I watched Coming to America. So I've done a little bit of TV this week, but it's definitely not as much as I would normally watch TV. So yes, that is a part of my self-care routine. And because it just, I'm like, even though it's a lot of good stuff on Netflix right now, you know, as far as like Black history goes and stuff like that, I have just not been in the headspace to watch it.
No,
I'm like, I need something that's going to make me laugh.
Yes, 100%.
So it's part of my decompression, you know? So yes, self-care is important. So now in episode 2, low-key distant.
Wait. But before we move on, I feel like in episode 1, you gotta put it in there that after, was it episode 1? Or am I lying? There was some little jab Molly threw at Issa in episode 1, right? Or am I tripping?
What did she say?
I can't remember, but I feel like it's either episode 1 or for sure episode 2. But that's when you start to see.
I feel like
a little
change. 2.
Okay, just kidding.
Yeah. So low-key distant. So of course, Issa and Condola decide to get it out that, you know, hey, Issa, they were in a relationship for a long time. And hey, Condola, well, I'm currently dating Lawrence, you know. So they confronted it, and Lawrence, I guess, felt uncomfortable.
Of course.
Molly is, at this point, Molly and Andrew have decided to be in a relationship with each other. And she's trying to get him to open up about his personal life, like maybe his family life, you know, how he grew up. And it's like pulling teeth for him to talk about it. For me, I think when I'm an open book, so I don't have a problem with talking about my family. But I also know that family is like a sore subject to talk about. And so it's just like, do I really want to divulge all my family drama?
Right.
You know, no. But I feel like it's a part of having a healthy relationship with your spouse for them to understand like where you come from and why you may react to certain things the way you do.
I was just about to say, it gives them an insight on like why you are the way you are, certain things that you do.
Yeah. And then in this episode, I think is where you start to see Issa and Molly like move apart from each other, move away from each other.
There's some tension. There's a little bit of friction, a little bit of like sneak jabs thrown from both. Yeah. But I gotta say, Molly started it, but I'm gonna get on that hate train later.
Because I think episode 2 is the episode where Issa actually has the
event at her apartment.
The event at her apartment where she is requesting sponsorship from local vendors and stuff like that for the block party. And Molly is, I think Issa, because Molly is like, well, why are you still working with Condola? And she's like, you know, we just work well together, you know. And Molly is like, you like drama and you know, like just
that's
like kind of drama, you know, whatever. And it's just like, no, girl, I'm trying to get this shit off the ground. And
Right.
Condola is the damn reason why I'm even having this right now. You know?
Exactly. She's helped her out in a major way, but it's also like we're adults. So like even if I was Issa in that situation, I wouldn't completely like cut her off. Like I don't think we would be the best of friends because obviously that's like it's a little sticky situation, but at the same time like if I see her, then we're going to be cordial. If she's helping me with something, then that's what it is. That's not drama. It's not like she's asserting herself or trying to be best friends with the girl.
Yeah, because I mean, when she met the girl, she didn't know this is who Lawrence was dating,
Right.
and they met under the pretense that they would collab with each other,
Mm-hmm.
for this event. And I think for Issa, one thing I can really say about Issa is I think for a lot of us, we get stuck in a place where it's hard for us to ask for help, but Issa stepped outside of herself and was like, I want this event to be great,
Right.
and this person knows what she's doing. Like,
Why not?
why not?
I
So,
agree.
yeah. So, in this episode, you can kind of see that both of them are feeling some tension within each other. And that's the one thing that I love about this show is that it's not just about relationships, like romantic
Yes.
relationships. Like it also
Yeah.
touches on friendships because
Mm-hmm.
in their friend group, Issa and Molly are together, and then is it Tasha? I don't know why I can't think of her damn.
Tiffany.
Tiffany and Kelly.
Kelly. Mm-hmm.
Tiffany and Kelly are, the best friends, but they're all friends in this
In
group.
a group.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how it is in real friendships. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like you always have your
definitely.
group of girls that you good with, but then in those friend groups, you have the person that you're more closer to.
Yeah, that's just natural. Like just the way the friend group is bonded. Like someone had to meet someone first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and Molly and Issa have basically been each other's rock,
Mm-hmm.
since college. And all their shenanigans have been together. I have definitely had friends where it's been like, for all your shenanigans, girl, I'm here, and vice versa.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I might be the voice of reason in the midst of some shit, but I'm gonna be there.
Right.
So that is basically what Molly and Issa have been to each other. I think
Mm-hmm.
that Tiffany and Kelly's friendship is less codependent.
Yeah. We also don't see a lot of their relationship, but we just know they're closer. But it seems like Kelly be doing whatever the hell Kelly does.
Kelly be in Kelly's world.
Kelly is in Kelly's world, and I love her. I wish they like have her on the screen a little bit more because I know it's a 30-minute show, but it's like
Everybody
anytime.
wants to see more of Kelly's story.
Yeah, for sure. I'm like, why does she say the shit that she says? Like, girl,
The girl don't have no filter, and it's always
none.
good to have that friend. Like she is definitely the comedic relief.
Yeah, for
Even
sure.
though Molly and Issa are funny, Kelly is
Hmm.
funny as hell.
Kelly is thrown off. That's what she is. Because there's funny, there's hilarious, and then there's thrown the hell off. She's the one that's like, oh, don't dare me to do that because I'm gonna do it.
Yep. The tasing.
Mm-hmm. A mess and then Pete.
Yes.
And then Tiffany is
We're gonna
like,
reference tasing later on in the episode.
yeah. And then Tiffany is like, she's the booed up friend. Like,
You always got that one friend in a group
mm-hmm.
that is in a relationship, love their man, and they got a great
Mm-hmm.
relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And you hope they're just not annoying
Yeah.
about it.
But honestly, that's one thing I could say about Tiffany and Derek's relationship. Like, it's annoying, but it's not annoying.
Yeah, I feel like it's not annoying because he doesn't make it annoying. If he was just like as extra as she was, then I probably like, she makes those little comments like, Derek this, like, oh, I gotta be home to my man. Like, girl,
Yeah.
shut up.
Well, the one episode when she was talking about ain't nothing wrong with going down on your man. That's how you keep a man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, ooh, child.
Ooh, child.
Ooh, child.
Ooh.
Okay, so on episode 3, Low Key Thankful, I think Issa and Molly both realized that they've been off lately,
Yeah.
So they're supposed to talk at Thanksgiving. I don't know why they chose Thanksgiving to have the conversation.
Horrible time.
Horrible time. Like, you're around family. It's supposed to be a joyous occasion. And you want to have this conversation about how y'all
like I'm sorry, there's no deep conversations happening on Thanksgiving.
no.
Like, there's none. I can't even think of a scenario where that would even happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's just the atmosphere is different, the energy is different, your mouth is full, your stomach is fuller. Like, and then you only make a couple rounds during Thanksgiving before you sat down somewhere and you stuck there.
Yeah.
So
And who
even though
be stuck having a conversation about some bullshit.
Especially when, I'm not trying to go too far into it, but you can already tell from Molly's past, like, she's not someone who thinks she's wrong in any way or is someone who's going to take accountability. So when you kind of know that of a person and you've been seeing that they've been making like slick comments, I wouldn't be jumping to go and run and have a conversation with her either, because you could tell Issa is like kind of avoiding it, kind of like just doing her own thing. And I don't really blame her because Molly is Molly.
Yeah, true. And then in this episode, you see Molly is still upset with her dad for cheating on her mom. And it's just like, girl, get out your head, because that ain't had nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? And as far as I'm concerned, like, that shit either happened before you was even in the picture. Either way, that was grown folks' business.
Yeah.
Business that ain't had nothing to do with you. So you mad for what?
But I don't know. I never had like a real parent household where it's like my real dad and my mom together in one house. And I was a kid when they were together, so I wouldn't really even know. But I don't know, maybe I feel like sometimes kids do take it a little harder. I know she's not a kid anymore, but sometimes they do take it a little harder when they think their parents is a certain way. And then they find out that
And
they
maybe
not.
that's what it is. She had this idea that her dad was perfect and, whatever. And, to find out that that wasn't the case. I think it's, bogus how she found out that her daddy cheated on her mama. But I also just feel like if your mother was able to move past it and harboring feelings about it, why are you? Like, she's the one that gets through it.
Yeah, and
like,
that's a good.
Found out and you talked to your mom about it, and which she did. You know what I'm saying? But she didn't really give her mother an opportunity to explain. She was just like, why would you take him back? Why would you forgive him? And it was just like,
girl, first of all, why are you yelling at your mom like that about her own decision? And then two, you are right. Like, if your mom was able to come to terms, you could still feel some type of way, but to keep holding on to it is just giving your own self a headache.
Yeah. So at Thanksgiving, she treating her dad like shit. Like, girl, if you don't go squat down somewhere and get your head ass.
Right.
Like, that's literally how I felt that whole Thanksgiving scene with her family. I was just like,
why you even come?
Yeah, like, if you knew you was going to act like this, you could have stayed at home and been miserable by your damn self. Which, when Issa said, she said something to the effect of like, you just don't want to be happy, or something like that. Like, that shit was true. Like, you sitting here being miserable for no reason.
I agree. I feel like she's a negative Nancy. Like, she's always going to find an issue with something, which is a horrible trait to have. And it's always woe is me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, and we got to talk about how Lawrence invited himself to Friendsgiving.
Oh, that was
It
awkward.
was. It was so awkward because she definitely did not have intentions on inviting him.
Mm.
And then for him to find out at the Thanksgiving that he was just a jump off.
Yes, meow. Which, oh, this just ruffles me up. I'm gonna be patient, but this is just a key detail that pisses me the F off. But I'm gonna let it ride until we get there. But just remember this,
Oh,
audience.
child. I know. I already
Just
know.
remember this.
Yes. So, it comes out at the Friendsgiving that, everybody got that one friend that talk too much.
Mm-hmm.
I can be that one friend sometimes.
We need friends like you, because we gotta know. Sometimes we want to put them in them situations so they'll find out through somebody else.
And it really don't be intentional,
Mm-hmm.
that things come out, but because like I'm just the type of person, like I can definitely keep a secret,
Yeah.
but I also feel that, I mean, it's just certain instances where that shit just don't resonate in my head that everybody don't know. So like, I'm real quick.
Oh, I feel like I remember a situation like this.
Real quick, when I was in college, it used to be a group of us that hung out together. So my friends Tiffany and Chaz have both been on the show, but I was in college with them and we were all hanging out, and there were 3 other girls that we would hang out with. And I knew that one of the girls that we were hanging out with, we gonna call her A. I knew that A was messing with somebody on the basketball team. The other girl in the room, we gonna call her C. C was also messing with this same person on the basketball team. But I didn't know that C was messing with the basketball player. So we all hanging out one day, and I tell, hey, I see, girl, I seen your boo today. And she said, who? I said, such and such. She said, that ain't my boo. I'm like, he your boo when he hitting them skins. Like, and girl, I just thought that shit was so funny. I was laughing so hard. And then when we left, I think either Chastity or Tiffany said it, but they was like, why would you say that? Probably Chastity. She was like, why would you say that? I said, because that shit was funny. And she said, C messed with him too. I said, what?
Ooh.
I said, well, ain't nobody tell me. I said, see, if y'all had just said something, people business wouldn't be out these streets. But
I know, right?
Here we are.
See, that's how some stuff I know, like when I talk to my friends, like I don't got to put disclaimers out, but if I really, really want to make sure stuff is locked down, I'd be like, don't tell nobody.
Like, sometimes I am that person that you have to be like, yo,
don't tell a
don't say
loving
nothing.
soul.
You know what I'm saying? You got to start off, don't say nothing.
Don't say nothing. Okay, don't tell nobody I told you this, but
and sometimes it could just be us chatting, and you really like, especially if it's like common knowledge, like certain aspects of it are common knowledge, it's not gonna resonate that I ain't supposed to say nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it's just maybe I should do a better job at just not talking and kind of, which I do try and do these days. I do try and kind of like just wait to see how the other person is putting stuff out there before I put my 2 cents in. But sometimes it just don't happen like that. Sometimes it just come out.
I know I've spilt the beans on accident. It's someone that spilt the beans about me. I don't know, on accident, on purpose, but either way, it's both kind of funny when you look back at it.
Yeah. Cause I still laugh at that shit. I be like, boy, that shit was funny. He in the skin. Like, girl, I just thought that was so funny. I said, I think I laughed so hard because of how I said it. I was like, y'all can't tell me that was funny. That was funny.
Right. Meanwhile, they looking like.
Meanwhile, everybody else looking like the fuck.
Girl.
Like,
Now, why you even say that? Why you even? Let's see.
like, I'm just living my best life out here.
Telling jokes. Y'all ain't even like. Why y'all not laughing?
Right. I was really like, that shit was funny, y'all. Y'all ain't gonna laugh.
That's hilarious.
So yes, the friend spill the beans that he was just a jump off, and now Lawrence is in his feelings, and he talks to Condola about that being her reason for fooling with him, and she was like, well, you invited yourself to Thanksgiving. I really had no intentions on inviting you. Yeah, and this is where we are. And he's like, I thought we were doing something, like we were together. And she's like, no, because you still basically threw it out there that he still had feelings for Issa.
Like, how the hell she know that?
Right. But it's just like, the crazy part about it is, since Issa and Lawrence have broken up, every time that they come around each other, it's always like
I feel it. I get chills, honey.
I know. And then they always have like these little insider jokes. Like, they literally feed off energy. And Condola witnessed this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? She picks up on the vibe, like,
you're just not it, honey.
There. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Honestly, maybe in the beginning, Condola was thinking it was gonna be something else, but after seeing how he and Issa react, it turned into this just a jump off.
I just gotta say though, on Condola, she just rubbed me the wrong way. It was something about the way her bottom half of her face sat. I just didn't like it, and it just gave me bad. She just got bad energy. I just knew she was about to fuck shit up from the moment I seen her.
Same.
And I don't know. I just feel like
it was hard not to like Condola, because Condola was a nice girl. You know what I'm saying? But you could tell it was something off.
But all at the same time, like, Issa did not do anything. From literally, even when she had like the pre-event, the block party for the sponsors, Condola was looking at her a little shady.
Mm-hmm.
Why, baby girl? Why? And then she wasn't returning Issa's phone calls when it was the actual block party.
Yeah.
Why? Issa did not do nothing but exist, honey.
Right. She can't help that you're dating her ex. Like,
period.
So that was episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 4, low key losing it. So in this episode, we see Tiffany be a little bit. We see the first glimpse of Tiffany being vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
And the first hint of postpartum depression.
Yep, I knew it right away.
I knew too. I was like, oh, she got postpartum and she got it bad.
Mm-hmm.
And
she
so
want to go home.
Know much. I don't know much about postpartum depression, but I know that they say a lot of women do get it after they have a baby.
Mm-hmm.
In this episode, Tiffany talks about how great of a dad Derek has been to the baby.
Mm-hmm.
You see Kelly stepping in, and one thing that I was thinking about when I saw how Kelly was so involved with the baby, it was just like, Tiffany, where your friends at that threw the baby shower? You know what I'm saying? Like, Kelly really wanted to be there for you in that moment, and you was letting your other mother friends. You know what I'm saying? And then here you are in the midst of shit, and who that? Kelly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I thought it was really dope that all of them kind of came together and was like, let's help where we can, washing clothes and, all of this and that. I will say, thankfully, ain't none of my friends called me and asked me to do none of that shit after they had a baby. Not that I wouldn't do it, but I would probably not want to.
That's me. I got a niece and I got a nephew, and that's the closest, I've been to the closest I've been to like helping raise a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Because I literally, when they were first born, I was there. And when they were in like the crying every night, and my sister used to be at work, I used to try to help. And I used to be like, how do people do this? Because if I had a choice to say no, I probably would have said no.
I
But I
honestly
can't.
ain't never been in a situation like that before. Like,
You never been with a baby?
Not like
Wow.
not like on the overnight tip. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe for a couple hours while I'm at their house with their parent, but never too much like watching the kid, you know what I'm saying?
It's pure hell.
And I do watch kids, but all my friends will tell you I'm the stern auntie. Do not fuck with me. Okay?
Oh yeah, that's not me. I can't.
My
I
one
can't be
friend,
serious.
her baby, she's 2, and that girl crazy. Like she just learning how to say words and stuff, and she's like, no. And if I'm leaving, she'll like be pushing me. And so one day I tapped a little leg. I said, that is a preview. Keep playing with that is a preview.
There's more where that came from.
Yes.
If you keep it up, you will see.
You gonna get the whole show, child. I enjoy being around kids, but I am the stern auntie. You're not going to be around me disobeying. No, what she say? Stop it. Don't.
That's, oh my God. I done been around some bad ass kids. Like my nephew bad, but he cute bad. Like some kids I've been around,
I mean, bad asses.
I know, and that's why I'm not stern, is because I look at them and be like, God damn. All right, come on, shit.
That do not work on me. That do not.
I hope I get that over time, because those are just my niece and my nephews, and I love them to death. Imagine when I have kids, they just gonna run all over me.
But I did one of my troops. Her and her husband, I think it was their anniversary or something. So I had volunteered to watch her baby, and he was like 9 months old, so he still wasn't sleeping all the way through the night or whatever.
Oh hell no!
When I tell you, I regretted the decision to say yes, I will watch your child. I felt so trapped. Like, even though I had a car seat, and if I wanted to just get up and go, I could. But I just felt so trapped. I was like, oh Lord, he won't stop crying. What do I do? He waking up in the middle of the night. I think I gave him a bottle. He went back to sleep. Then at 4:00, he wake up again. I'm like,
and you can't ask the baby what you crying for, what you want.
Yeah. So I made him
another
bottle. And then I know you ain't supposed to sleep in the bed with the baby, but I ain't put him back in the playpen because I was trying to stay asleep too. It's 4:00 in the morning. So I just laid him on my chest or whatever, and he slept. But I felt so trapped. And then at 6:00, he woke up like, all right, bruh, time to turn up. I'm like, no. Oh, go back to sleep. Like, girl, I couldn't get that baby to his mama fast enough the next day. I say, so I think, and for that baby to be a newborn, well, newborns ain't really hard to deal with. Like,
no, they on a schedule. You know when it's about to kick up, and then after like a few months, they'll start sleeping through the night.
Yeah. So, but I still thought it was really nice that they all stepped in to, like, help out where they could. And
for sure.
Also in this episode, I think Issa loses her headliner for the block party.
Oh, yeah.
And she asks Molly if she could ask Andrew if he could get one of his Live Nation people to help out. And Molly is like, no, I don't want to compromise my relationship. But I'm like,
What is that
What
about the
type of shit?
compromise?
I'm like, girl, no. You could have just said, I don't feel comfortable doing this for you because we ain't in a good place. I would have preferred you say that over, you don't want to ask your man to help me.
Because it's just like, honey, okay, let's go with her excuse. She doesn't want to compromise her relationship. What on God's green earth is going to happen if you just say, hey, can you do a favor? He'll either say yes or he'll either say no. If he's a grown man, he's not about to be like, oh, I feel like you're using me, or I feel like this, that, and the third. Like, and all she said, she wasn't going to ask. She didn't say Issa can't ask.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was such a bitch ass move because I feel
Yep.
like regardless of if me and my friend are going through a rough patch right now, I see that my friend is grinding right now. Like if you think about where Issa has been and where she is now, it'll be like,
Yeah.
yes, I'm gonna help my friend. You know what I'm saying? Like,
She's way more stable now.
yeah, she's way more stable. You can tell that she's happy doing what she's doing because honestly, when you working on something that you genuinely enjoy doing, it's not work. Regardless of how tired you are doing it, like it's not work. And it's just like see Issa in a place where she is happy, she doing what she loves, you know what I'm saying? And for you to be like, to be a hindrance to her.
Right, exactly. And another point too is like on to the point where you're saying like, you see she's doing better, why would you stand in her way if this is the one thing she's asking for? And even if she was to say, I don't feel comfortable doing it because we're not cool, I as a friend wouldn't accept that just because it's like I feel like no matter when you have a real bond with somebody, romantic or not, when you upset with them, that means nothing because you still have a lot of love for them. You would never want them to be put in a messed up situation. So you might do a little stank attitude, be like, all right, I'll ask them. But still, you would not like, why would you
You
put
would not
like
just
this
flat
is
out be like, no.
or even lie because
Which
you could tell
led Issa to go to, like, I tell you, God works. God works. Because
yes,
Issa did not reach out to Nathan. Nathan reached out to Issa. And in that conversation, Nathan is like, is everything cool? Is it anything I can do to help? You know, and she like,
well, yeah.
matter of fact, there is something you can do to help. You know what I'm saying? And he came through and asked Andrew for the help, and he got her the help. And then, yes. So, Andrew came through for the win.
With no issue. He literally said it was just pressing a button.
Yeah. I thought that was some bullshit that Miley.
It was.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I wholeheartedly understand, like, trying to be there for a friend, like all this time you riding and dying with your friend or whatever, and then, you know, of course, when you get tired of their asses, yes, I have been in a place where I have been spiteful and just been like, nah, I can't. In my younger years, at this place I am right now, if my friend was Issa and Issa reached out to me to be like, hey, I need your help, you know, can you help me? I would be down for the cause because I want to see you win.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But younger me was petty and was like, nah, bitch, I can't help you. I ain't talking to you right now. I can't help you. Sorry.
And even though that's not right, it's more acceptable because you are still growing as a person.
Yeah. Like,
Molly
I
got her
was 21
ass.
years old. Molly, you damn near 30. Or is 30. You over 30.
And you in therapy at that.
Like a child.
Ooh, I want to lay hands on her.
Yeah, Molly could have got her ass whooped that day.
Yeah, I would have probably slapped her. Are we getting to the block party yet? Because this is where I really want to lay into her.
Yeah, episode 5 is the block party. Low key moving on.
Yes, ma'am. Moving the fuck on.
The block party is here. Everybody is liking the block party. Everybody's like, it's a good time.
They had Sir come out. Did you see that?
Yep. Condola shows
raggedy
up
ass.
at some point after she done went ghost.
Weird.
Bitch.
I know.
Tiffany get to come out the house since she had the baby, so she is excited to be out. Kelly,
Mm-hmm.
regular Kelly ass antics.
Mm-hmm. For sure, trying to get with people per usual. No. She got the accent now,
She
huh?
got the accent. She from London.
Oh, which was I think that was the funniest thing. And then I love Kelly
Amal.
and
Yes.
Issa's brother.
That is one person we have not brought up. I love him because he is the shadiest of the shade.
Yes. And he's so calm about it. He's not in your face about it. He's just like,
And it just make me wonder what happened with him and Kelly that they be like this with each other.
And I feel like season 5 that needs to be addressed.
Yes.
I need people to stop hounding Issa about the amount of episodes or the time of the episodes.
Because it all reveals itself.
I feel like what we need to worry about is getting Kelly on the TV a little bit more.
Yes.
And figuring out why. I feel like they did some.
Right. I feel like maybe before he realized he was gay. Maybe
they did some.
Maybe he is the reason that maybe Kelly was the last woman he was with. And she fell away.
I'll never forget in season 2 when they had went to some like house party and Ahmad showed up and he was like, "Oh my gosh, Tiffany!" Blah 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 blah. And then Kelly was like, "Kelly." Just when you make such a
when they was having a wind down party at Issa's house.
Yeah. Like extra.
Yes.
I love them too. Like every single time.
Yes. Every time they get together, you just know it's gonna be funny.
Shady.
Now, on to Molly's old hating ass.
The back of my head just started throbbing at the moment you said that.
So, I think Andrew brought it up that he got them together. And then Nathan asked him to help Issa, and Molly felt away. So, Molly, my question is, why would you do this at the block party?
At the block party, honey, I know people are leaving, but it's still on the premises. It's still happening. And then you just rush off from Andrew. Andrew's like, it's not even a big deal.
Yeah, he was like, she needed the help. I could help, and that's what happened.
Yeah, I'm a civilized person. A friend reached out to me, so I just helped.
Yeah.
You would think she would have the same mindset.
Yeah. I'm just like, Molly, come on. Like, you cannot be in your own head that much that you had to ruin this girl's night.
It's disgusting.
Very. Like, you are a toxic ass friend.
Yes, and she was loud about it too.
Yeah, it wasn't even like she was like, Issa, can I talk to you for a minute? It was, why you go behind my back?
And then all up in my face. That's what I don't like. Don't get real physical, because then I'm going to have to go into fight or flight. And then I'm going to have to slap, because it's like, why are you doing all that? Is your emotions really, like when you break it down, you really that upset? Did your man break up with you? Did he even bring it up to you in a manner like, Issa asked me about this? No, you didn't even know. She had been reached out to him. And you making a scene? If I was Andrew, I would have been looking at her like, I wouldn't break up with her, but I'd be looking at, that's something to be noted. She's that type of girl. Okay.
Yeah, problem. And then this just goes back to what Issa said. Girl, you just can't be happy. Like, here I am. I did this amazing thing for our community that is being gentrified. And you bringing up personal shit at my business? Like,
girl.
Disrespectful. You did that was just straight disrespectful.
And she called her a bitch, didn't she? Ugh. The nerve. Some things you just can't. A damn scene. And then the shots get
Yeah.
go off. So now that just make it look even worse because they probably are the reason the shots went off in the first place.
Right. Like they brought that animosity, encouraged somebody else to cut up.
Because once there's one fight in the club, there's bound to
It's
be
always
another
one because somebody like, oh, I can sneak somebody right quick.
They get it, and then they want to play the goddamn song that everybody know not to play when there's some hostile shit.
Or move. I used to hate that song when I was growing up. Like, we'd be at parties and they'd be like, move. It'd be like, move. And then all of a sudden, the crowd start trying to widen up the circle so that people could be dancing and shit in the middle. But in the midst of it, somebody is really like bouncing around, pushing people back and make people want to fight.
Purposely setting stuff up. I done been in the club and the fighting song came on. People started fighting, and then literally 10 minutes later, they played Meek Mill song "Nightmares of the" whatever it's called, and like everybody is like acting all cool. I'm like, oh, so we cool now,
right? Because everybody want to start rapping that shit,
right? So this water that was just spilt on me, that's for nothing. We just go all rap now.
Yeah,
that's neither here nor there.
All right, we're going to take a quick break before we get into episode 6. All right, and we are back, guys. And if you haven't, well, you should have already been tuned in. So we left off.
Period.
So we left off episode 5, low key moving on, with Molly showing her ass at the block party. So now we are on episode 6, low key done. And basically, low key done, Issa is trying to, move on from the incident that's happened at the block party. She is trying to do random acts of kindness for other people to make her feel good.
Oh my gosh, which was hilarious.
Yeah. That old man was funny.
The old man was like, nigga, I'm helping you. What you talking about? Why are you yelling at me?
Yeah.
And they killed me at the end of the
up at the son house and he
yes, I was just saying. He was like, Dad? I just knew as soon as the person opened the door, I was like, this about to be some shit. Some off the wild shit about to happen.
Yeah. That old man was funny.
And then the pregnant lady had the nerve to be begging and then trying to turn her nose up once Issa car declined. Like,
yeah.
Maybe it needs to. But you know what? Her heart was in the right place both times.
It definitely was. I think.
Have you ever?
Huh?
Go ahead.
I think she. Yeah, her heart was in the right place. But then I was kind of just wondering, like, you ain't make no money off the block party? It was a free event, wasn't it?
Well, I always get confused by where she actually gets money from. Like, this is no shade, but I really am confused.
Lyft. And because she the property manager at her building, she get
right,
discounted rent.
They pay her. They gotta pay her, right?
The property manager?
Yeah, she gets paid from that.
No, she just gets discounted rent. Discounted.
Oh, so what is how she? Yeah, I've always wondered where the hell she got her money from.
She make enough money to pay her discounted rent.
Oh, child.
And
that's it.
And enough that she able to kiki a little bit every now and again.
Cause I see she don't just sit at the house. When I ain't got no money, I would sit at. If I ain't had no money, I would sit at the house.
Right, because gas ain't cheap. It is a little low right now. I can fill up my tank for $30. I mean, for like $35. I'd be like, look at God.
Look, I didn't have to fill up my tank in 3 months when we had Corona, the
Well,
lockdown
you
and
know, I was
stuff.
still going to work, so I didn't get no break. I appreciated that
Mm.
little discount my insurance company gave me on the
Oh
insurance,
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
but yeah, I didn't get no. Nope, still putting gas in the tank.
Mm-mm. But yeah, Issa, I guess she had that happy feeling, wanted to help people out,
hmm
but it was just really funny. Like,
Yeah, it was funny how that shit was playing out, and
mhm.
then this is also the episode where Issa befriended the randoms, and the joke was on
Oh my gosh! Shout out to Kyla Pratt.
Kyla Pratt. Yeah,
Like her voice just warms my heart for some reason. She just has that voice where it's like you'll always remember and know you don't even have to see them. You'll know who it is.
yeah, yeah. I
And
like.
just remind
And I saw so her and Issa did a live after the episode aired. And you know, people take their TV, they Issa is everybody's friend. So
mhm.
Kyla was like, everybody was messaging her like, y'all did Issa wrong, but like
Right.
people really be thinking this shit real life.
It's so funny because literally if I seen Molly or Yvonne who plays Molly, I feel like I would be stank facing her, but I know that's not who she really is, but
hmm
still like I would want to fight her.
Do you listen to her podcast, Jesus and Jollof, with Lovey Ajayi?
Mm-mm.
Girl, they is so funny together. They both, they both Nigerian. They be cracking me
Right.
up. I be cracking up. They be like, Jesus and your love. Oh, oh, Jesus and your love.
I'm gonna have to check them
And
out.
I
I
be
was gonna
sitting in
watch.
the car like, yes, get it, y'all. They funny. They funny. But yes, Kyla and them two randoms, left Issa high and dry after she was just being genuinely nice to some out of towners. So fuck y'all. Y'all treated Issa badly, and Issa was just trying to be a good person to y'all.
And she was probably in the mindset, look, I'm losing one friend. Maybe I need to just try to find different friends. Blase, blase. Thinking that she was gonna make a new friend
Yep.
or friends, and they played her.
Mm-hmm. And then she
But
get a call from Kelly asking, have you talked to Molly? And she like, no.
no,
And Kelly is like, I feel like that might have been the most not real, but the most
like serious.
serious. Yeah, the most serious that Kelly has ever been. Like, I think she hates seeing them not be close because it messed up their
Hmm.
friend dynamic.
Yeah. For sure, Kelly. But when she was calling, she was like, "Have you talked to her? Like, what do you think about that? Like, feeling like who needs to reach out to who first? Do you feel like you should always do it, even if you're not per se the one in the wrong, or you need to wait?"
I genuinely feel that the person who felt um the person who had the issue should be the one to reach out first.
What?
I feel like Molly need to be reaching out to Issa because she was dead fucking wrong. Now, in
Wait.
so when I say Molly needs to be reaching out, I'm not saying
Mm-hmm.
like for the whole friendship issue that's going on, but I feel like Molly needs to get outside of herself and realize that she was bogus for acting the way she acted towards Issa
Right.
block party.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I
from
agree.
there, they can discuss the other shit that's going on with
Mm-hmm.
friendship. But I feel like Molly should be the one to reach out first.
Yeah, but I was confused when you first said that because when you said the person who had the issue, like the person who's upset or the person who was made to be upset.
The person who was upset.
Okay.
Because Molly was upset.
Mhm.
Issa Issa knew that their friendship was off and she knew that they needed to talk, but Issa is not a problematic type individual in that way.
No.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So Issa, I feel like, felt that maybe it would just all blow over and they would be back on the same page. But it really, like, I just feel like Molly is unhappy in her life for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, because I've been to therapy, and I mean, my therapist tell me I'm a model patient because I come in there and be like, this is what I did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever, like, I can take responsibility for my actions. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I think, all in all, I think what Molly's therapist is trying to do is to get Molly to see that, she needs to start taking responsibility for her shit as well and not
Mm-hmm.
just blaming everything on everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And
For
that's
sure.
what Molly's therapist meant by, she was saying something to the effects of, maybe you should talk to Issa.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because the therapist can already see that, of course, there were some underlying issues in the friendship, and maybe you need to be the one to, get the conversation going.
Mm-hmm.
And especially because I feel like she was the one who was having the most severe issues in the relationship.
She had like a huge, like not huge, but you can clearly see a reaction or some tension, or she wasn't talking normal.
Yeah. Like,
Mm-hmm.
she wasn't her normal self.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that was episode 6. Now we're going to episode 7, Low Key Tripping. So last episode was Issa's life without Molly. Low Key Tripping, episode 7, is Molly's life without Issa.
But you would think she would have a grand old time.
Exactly. But Molly just can't be goddamn happy. So in this episode, Molly goes on a little vacation with Andrew and she meets his brother and the brother's wife. It seemed like everything was going good. And then she try and go get the towel. And the lady's like, she needs to see a room key or whatever. And Molly is like, she don't have it, XYZ. You didn't ask the last group of people for a room key, blah, 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 blah. So then the brother comes up and he's just like, I guess shows the room key. And, Molly just snatches the towel and go. So the brother is like, trying to have a conversation about what happened. And Molly is being offensive, like she's offended that he didn't see it the way she saw it, which she felt it was a racial thing and why the lady wouldn't give her a towel.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Molly is just very problematic.
Yeah, I agree.
I think because she has these unresolved issues with Issa, I think she done kind of came to terms with her parent situation, but we haven't seen her interact with the parents since Thanksgiving, except for her kind of having a peace offering the dad a piece of pie. But that don't mean everything is back to normal. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So maybe she's still feeling a way about that type of stuff. Then, she was having issues with work at one point where she wasn't feeling like she was fitting in, stuff like that. So I feel
Yeah.
like she has a lot of unresolved issues and she ended up lashing out at the wrong people.
Right. What would you have done in that situation? Do you think it was racial, or do you think like she should have just let it go a little easier, or she could have like educated him a little bit and then let that be it, but don't get too, you know, I don't know, don't have too much emotions into it because it is like you don't really know him, you don't know where he's coming from.
So when we would have handled that situation totally different. Because I know me personally, if I had walked up and the girl was like, I need to see a room key to give you this towel, I probably would have just walked off and went and got the room key. Because honestly, I probably wouldn't have damn been paying attention to the group of people in front of me, you know what I'm
Right.
saying, to know what that interaction was. So I just would have been like, oh, okay, let me go get my room key. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like she was just being argumentative to be argumentative in the moment, you know. Um and so I think how she talked to Victor was um it was uncalled for.
Yeah. Because even if I think, like, if I was paying attention to the family beforehand and I saw that, I'm not someone who, when you, like, there's sometimes as a Black person, you know, certain things are happening because you're Black, but
Right.
you can't really prove it per se because, you know, you just can't really,
Right.
unless they flat out and say it. So in that situation, I would be like, I'm not about to, like, I'm in Mexico. I'm really not about to make this bigger than what it needs to be, but it's just like noted. And
Mm,
then I could, if you really want to take it there, you could tell her manager or whatever. But in that moment, I'd be like, because I'd be like, I don't know if I would say, "Oh, that family didn't have to show their key," because I don't know if I'll be thinking that, but I'll be like, okay," and then I'll just go get the key. I think, like, she was just ready to, like, continue that energy onto Victor, even though he was being annoying because it's like, you can kinda confer that it was something racial, but we don't need to get into, like, the devil's advocate type stuff, like, that don't
right.
matter. So, like, why egg it on when you know this is a thing? Let's
Mhm.
just acknowledge it and let it go. But I definitely, me, when it comes to, like, dating somebody and meeting their family, like, I feel like that is a sticky situation. So even if I was upset with him, I would just approach it a totally different way because
I probably would have talked to Andrew and been like, you know, I felt I would have been like, let me know if my frustration is being pointed in the wrong direction,
mhm,
and maybe you can just help me understand his point of view better than for me to just fresh out the gate be like, no, that was racist. I mean, you're wrong, and no, 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 no. Like,
yeah.
I think she handled that all wrong.
Yeah, because you just don't. And then she walked off too. I feel like if I disagreed with him, I would have just stopped the communication, just ended the conversation, and just gone back to, like, talking about other things. Because what if he would have got hostile too? Now we both beefing. Now the boyfriend in the middle, and now it's like, I just don't want to put nobody in the position where, unless they really wrong, like, there's some real crazy stuff. I
Mm,
don't want to be in the situation where the boyfriend would be put in a weird situation and it's like, oh, it's the brother, it's the girl, it's the brother, it's the girl. Or, like, even myself, like, if I see a future with them, I wouldn't even want to deal with having an issue when you know he's just being an idiot trying to play devil's advocate. Like, he's
mhm.
just being stupid. It was not that deep to go that far.
Yeah. Yeah, Molly was definitely tripping per usual. Now, in episode 8, Low-key happy. I have been waiting for this moment
Oh my
for
god, I'm getting
4
goosebumps.
seasons. So, so basically in this episode, since Lawrence and Condola had the Thanksgiving conversation and her throwing it out there that she felt he still had feelings for Issa, that put him in a state of um let me that put him in a state of like,
Let me evaluate this.
yeah, let me think about what's been going on. Let me
Mhm,
reflect.
mhm.
So in his reflection, I think that he realized he didn't give him and Issa a chance. and that they needed to talk. He needed to talk.
They haven't had a real like convo for real.
No, they've had little encounters where it's just like, hey, or, you know, they fall into their little banter, but no real conversation. And so they go to dinner and they just being real about how they were feeling, the demise of their relationship. And I've been in a situation before where an ex and I have literally sat and had the conversation and been like, this is why I was feeling the way I felt. And it really is a relief when you can have that conversation. And even if it's not with the end result is not you getting back with that person, it's just knowing that y'all could sit and have that conversation.
Yeah. And it was like, I just feel like it was a good conversation. Like, they said some things, like they had the hard conversation, but it was still like received well on both ends. Like, no one was getting in their feelings.
And
no
it
one
didn't
was
feel
like
awkward.
It wasn't awkward. They was making jokes about it in the moment too. Like, it just, from that conversation, I'm like,
it was just like yes, you guys are made to be together. You're meant to be.
Now I want to put a disclaimer, like, and say, if I was Lawrence, this will never be happening, because I just couldn't get over the cheating. But I love the fact that he is like, that's how it's real for them. It's real because he literally, and then he's a man too, because we got to deal with this toxic masculinity, where when a dude get cheated on, oh hell, it's the end of the world. Definitely. But he was able to he moved on from it, as far as we know so far.
And I mean, it took him some time to come to that realization. It didn't happen overnight, you know. And I think that's the good part about it, is that there honestly did need to be that length of time, that space between the two of them to really. And I think for him to really understand like where he was in his life at that moment. And it was also time for Issa to reflect on what it was that led her to cheating. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you feel these ways, but you don't necessarily know how to say it. You know what I'm saying? You don't see all the factors that led up to a certain moment. You know what I'm saying? So taking space or taking time away from a situation and actually being able to look inside, like step outside of it and look in and, you know, just see what happened brings that perspective.
For sure. So I feel like that conversation was just like, let's wrap it up.
It wasn't long overdue. It happened when it was supposed to happen.
Right at the right time, because I feel like if they did this talk right after the whole situation, I would have felt like they had to try to get back together right then in that moment. But Lawrence probably wasn't all the way over or something. I feel like you can have a talk and still not be over something. You still need that time. So I think they kind of just did it the opposite way, where they had the time. Now they had to talk. And then they got the love. Get to it, CoCo. Get to it.
Yes. So, at the end of the like they have this amazing date. You know, they go to this restaurant.
So beautiful.
Good food, good conversation. It is revealed what Issa's drink of choice is, which is Prosecco with a shot of vodka. And I'm like, girl, who the hell drank that? And I started to make that the drink for the day, but I was like, no, child, I'm not. No, I'm not about to do that. So, but I think that they end up going to like this street gallery or whatever. They're having a great night. on the Uber ride home or the Lyft ride home.
Wait, speaking of that, they ran into Issa. We ain't mentioned Issa's
Security
little.
day.
Oh my gosh, the episode where she got the condom stuck in her
Like
car.
security.
Oh my god! Like, first of all, how embarrassing is that for you to run into?
How do you and Issa know each other? Oh, we used to get it.
Oh,
like,
right, and he just out there.
Right? You just gonna out me like this? Like, oh no.
Exactly. And then in front of the girl, and she ain't even flinch.
The girl ain't even paying them no attention. Issa is standing there mortified, like.
And Lawrence knew damn well what he was doing. And that's what I love. Like, he just makes like nothing is weird about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's just vibing their jokes the whole entire time. I'm like, look at y'all joking and shit.
Yeah.
And getting each other.
Yeah. And so I blah blah blah.
Oh my god, like a fool. When that scene happened, I was just like,
hey. Something told me it couldn't end like that. So when I heard him do it, I was like, yes, Lawrence, come back.
I was like, this nigga plays too much. First he did the Lyft joke, calling Issa. So let me call it Lyft real quick, and then rings Issa up. Now you doing this, like, he just playing way too much. That's how you know a nigga can't act right.
They just
can't
be
serious with shit.
So I liked that episode was so good. And at the end of the night, you know, he invited her back to his house to see that he lived in an adult apartment and not a bachelor's apartment. And, you know, she's like, what if I didn't want the night to end? And he's like, what if I didn't want it to end either? And then they get it in. And it just looked like no time had passed. It looked like they was still in love, you know. It was a glorious moment. I'm like,
it was beautiful. That ended the scene, like, I couldn't even be mad. Like, she got up,
but
she said, "I'm gonna take me."
Talk about Miss Condola.
Oh hell, Bill! Yeah, you were
popping the hell up in the text messages, and it was like when I saw her kept messaging him, I'm like, I already know, and I'm ready to whip her ass. But we ain't gonna say it just yet.
Everybody was saying it. I'm like, why is y'all putting that on them? Why is you putting that on that man?
I know she is, because why she hitting him up like this?
I did not like that too. I was like, I was starting to look at Lawrence like, please don't be playing with my girl Issa now. Is you with it or is you not?
Right. Because I'm like, you need to cut it off with Condola right now.
Period.
Right now.
I know all y'all. I know all y'all did was just have a talk, but y'all about to be together. So stop playing.
Yes.
Talk about, can we meet up? I know we said Tuesday, but can we? No, Condola.
No, Condola. I'm fucking busy. Bye.
Right. I'm busy with the woman that's the love of my life.
Right. So, episode 8 or episode 9, low key trying. The episode opens up with Issa just cohabitating in the most beautiful way, you know, just coexisting together. I
loved it. That's my type of love. That's what I like to do. I just like to chill. I'm a homebody, but I just like to just be in the house, loving, watching TV, working together.
You know, if I had a bae, I would like doing that type of stuff too. But
shut up.
You know, it's over here dry for you, girl.
Oh my gosh.
Ain't been on
not for long.
Huh?
I said not for long. We gotta receive it. Manifestation. Manifest.
Yeah, I'm manifesting that a man will present himself, the man for me. But we shall see. More to come. So,
Stay tuned.
stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
In this episode, Issa tells Lawrence about Nathan and how he's asked her to help him move and, whatever. So she goes to help Nathan and she lets Nathan know, like, her and Lawrence are trying to work it out. And he's like, he seemed kind of flighty. You know what I'm saying? But then I can't remember if it was before or after he said that it was after. Because he was like, the reason he had disappeared was because he went back to Houston and he found out he was bipolar. And so now Issa is like, oh, and I thought he just ghosted me, but he was really dealing with some shit, whatever. So I can definitely understand, like, being hard on somebody. Like, you got some nerve to be like, oh, he flighty, but you ghosted me for however long, like, no, nothing, not a word. And then you pop back up and think that I'm supposed to want to be with you, whatever. And then he hits her with the, I'm bipolar. And it's just like, well, fuck.
I can't say shit now.
Say shit now, So I definitely know that's how she was feeling. But in my head, I'm like, Nathan, go away. Go away.
Yeah,
I've been waiting too long for Lawrence and Issa to get back together, for you to try and come between them. No, go away.
Ass.
Go away.
With your fine ass. And he just got that voice where I'm just like,
yeah, he's nice looking. And his little voice, it's a little, I'm a sucker for a deep voice.
But my thing is, like, Issa, why are you hanging with him? I know you keeping the things like platonic, but I just would not, like, it would be one thing if they tried to talk to each other, but it never went nowhere. But y'all actually put the hole in the hole. That ain't make no sense, but y'all know what I mean. They did the nasty.
Yeah.
So
y'all got it.
Why y'all messing with, like, I'm not about to be nobody's friend. If I just got out of a relationship because my ass was cheating, I'm not about to be messing with no that I used to mess with, even if I was single, because I'm not about to give my dude, who probably got a little bit of trust issues with me, the perception to think that I'm about to cheat, because I don't know. That's just a weird situation for me.
Yeah, so Nathan is feeling away about Issa and Lawrence getting back together. And so earlier when I mentioned, Dr. Rhonda or Molly's therapist, saying like maybe you should reach out to Issa, whatever. This was later on. But basically, telling her like maybe take a different approach with the people who have wronged her. And also in this episode is this the episode where Issa invites Molly for, I think this is the episode where Issa invites Molly to brunch.
Yep, it is.
And, she's thinking like everything is going to be back to normal. And then her and Nathan go to Andrew's house to kind of like, help him get the rest of his things. And Andrew invites them to stay for dinner. And Molly texts Issa saying,
stupid,
thinking she was texting Andrew saying that she was really trying with Issa. And so Issa immediately gets up and leaves, and Molly is just like, she feels that Issa should try harder.
Girl, like, I'm sorry. Molly, I just want to slap the hell out of her. Because first of all, that was fake as fuck. Why are you messaging him? Why is it so hard for you to just have a regular conversation with her? Why would you, if you really felt like you couldn't be around her, why would you just agree to them hanging out and playing games and shit? And then number two, we don't see the whole insides of the character development, but it could be perceived that, like Issa said, she know how Molly is. She wants to give her some more time to cool off, but she wants to, break that what you call it, the awkward phase of just talking again for the first time.
Yeah.
I personally don't like to talk like shit is sweet. When I'm mad at someone, I like to get right into it. But it sounds like Molly is that type of person where you gotta, if she's still a little bit upset, you gotta weigh it out a bit. So that's all she was doing. And I feel like you not seeing the points that she's making, because if it was up to Molly, they wouldn't be talking right now.
True.
So honey,
So Issa definitely, she better than me. Cause I'd have been like, nope, that bitch need to come sell her grievances because I'm not doing it.
mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm.
but yeah, I think that Issa was right to walk away.
Yeah.
Issa was right to walk away because it's just like, you can't expect me to be kissing your ass to be my friend, but you ain't doing nothing to help the situation. Like, girl, get the fuck over
Mm-hmm.
yourself.
And you ain't been a saint yourself. Shit, you had something to do with this friendship, going the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
Talk
Yep.
about she trying.
Girl, you ain't trying hard enough. Fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the last episode 10, Low Key Lost, Tiffany is back in the equation, and basically Derek calls all the girls like Tiffany is missing. She said she was going to leave and go to the movies, but never came home. The
Ooh,
police is
Lord.
like, it wasn't 24 hours, then, you need to wait it out. So, the girls put their investigative skills together, they end
Which
up,
I loved.
child, I would have been so damn lost. I would have been like,
Honey, and then here go Issa. Oh, she's at this one taco spot. How many miles away is it? Yep, that's the one. Like, girl, who's thinking about all of
right. Because,
that?
girl, I would have been like, my friend is lost.
The farthest I could have gone was, does she have her location on her iPhone?
Right.
Oh, okay. I may have would have been able to look on her Snapchat to see if she got her location on her Snapchat, but that's about it. You're
Yeah.
gonna have to wait it out, y'all.
But they was putting two and two together and was like, they found the girl. And
Mm-hmm.
I love the way Derek, when she opened the door and he was just there for her. It wasn't like, where
Yeah.
you
Where
been?
the hell
Why
you
you do
been?
this? Like, he was
Yeah.
just there. She's like, I just didn't know what else to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy because when you think of having a baby, you think like, this is the most joyous occasion in my life, and here she is just really struggling.
Yeah. She didn't want to go home at the block party. Like, your
Mm-mm.
ass don't want to go home. You know it's real. Because then once you sit there and you stall, then you're like, damn, I'm home now. And then it really sucks.
Mm-hmm.
You really got to deal with it. She was struggling a lot. And then we finally see her in her natural, well, she still had makeup on, but she had the natural hair out when, she always wigged out.
Yeah.
But I did want a little bit more emotion from her, but that's just me being extra. I wanted a tear or two.
I feel like next season I don't know if they're gonna delve into her situation, but I
Mm-hmm.
definitely feel like they're gonna show the steps that she is taking to get to a better place.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's just a little glimpse, they have to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I
Um,
know they will. She'll
and
probably be
then
talking like, she'll probably be talking, yummy, yummy, and our cut, and
and our
everything
baby
is
is perfect.
great. Yeah. Like, she has the cutest smile.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
the
so
tip.
I definitely can't wait to see her being able to embrace motherhood, because I know right now she's going through some real shit.
Yeah,
So
which is frightening.
it is.
That's scary to think about.
Mm-hmm. And Molly takes Andrew to a work function, and they basically have a disagreement. And
hmm
in this disagreement, towards the end of the conversation, he's like, I haven't felt that this has been going well for a while.
Which pisses me off because it's like, why don't you say that when you first feel that way? I hate when people just sit on shit. Don't sit on it. Now we could have dealt with it the first time you felt that way. We could have
Definitely.
either broke up or worked it out. That's the
I
one
definitely,
little.
I have been there. You know, like somebody is, not feeling it, but versus telling me, I'm not feeling this, you know what I'm saying? They
Mhm.
carry on like normal, and then something
Right.
happens and then it's just like, yeah, I don't want to be together no more. Like,
Then
what?
it feel like it's coming out of nowhere. Like, where did this come from?
Yeah, like
Why I
what?
just been
I didn't
feeling
even know
this
we was
way.
having issues and you just want to break up.
Exactly.
What?
That's my one little strike against Andrew.
Yeah. But I think it comes from a place where maybe because the other person feels that, maybe it's just them that has the issue, and maybe they tripping about something.
Yeah.
And they think they can move past it, but then something happens and it's just like, no, I can't get past this, and I don't see myself getting past it.
hmm
You know? Um and I think that's where Andrew was coming from when he said that. And it kind of almost hurt my little feelings when Molly
Ooh.
was like, I can be a better, I can be better.
Yeah, didn't move me. Fuck her.
The reason I say that is just because um throughout the entire series,